The narrative starts with a young girl called Honiko Akaban is on her way to school. Considering that she encounters her companion Nei and they welcome one another.
She wants to know if Honiko has finished her assignment for mathematics.
She did respond with a,
"Yes, but you can't copy it."
The way she responds shocks Nei, but resolves to move on. In the meantime, a somebody clad in black trailing behind them, reached Honiko at last.
His goal is as a ransom of $100 million yen.
With the blade drawn, he says, the hero is getting ready to stab her stepson, trips him, and causes him to plummet. A loud bang startles the females. Creep up on people.
And in the meantime, our MC approaches the elderly individual, stating that he accidentally soiled his clothes and went into his leg.
The man claims to be perplexed, saying that it was the main character who fooled him. The main character Arakuni Ibuki, who Naga recognizes. The man is informed by Ibuki that they cover the cost of this and go on to other topics. The man contacts him drug dealer. At that moment, Honiko intervenes to, "Let's end this debate." As she inquired of Ibuki, "Why?" His antics never cease. He succeeds, frustrated, and quarrel with one another some other. Afterwards, she inquires with the man about is fine with it and offers to lend him a hand, stand up. The man readies himself for another assault. However, Habibuki intervenes and gently reminds him that they have not ended their discussion. The man sees my identity and runs away. He flies after the guy while Honiko pays little attention to exercise caution. Sneaking into a back alley, the man whispering that he's taken notice of the girl's protector, but I didn't anticipate merely a few disobedient child. His refusal to divulge every single thing. "Has Honko ever crossed your path?" He expresses confusion.
Recovering from his exertions, Ibuki replies that it's irrelevant and concerns himself with his appearance from Akaban from the viewpoint of Honiko.
That individual is... Ibuki inquires if he appeared unattractive, perplexed, or chilly. The guy proceeds to wonder if he's fond of her.
He denies his cheating ways. He claims his menacing appearance continues the vast majority of people.
Yet Honiko, propelled by her an unyielding commitment to fairness, stand up. On her own, she confronts him when he stirs up problems, never gives an inch. The Iyuki's admiration for the elderly man is confirmed, though I object when Honiko discovers them. She catches Ibuki's eye, and he seems surprised. Finds out the elderly man is free. He accuses Ono, but she contradicts by questioning in his actions had the guy hadn't run away. Remembering him from their youth, this is something she simply cannot disregard. Her finger taps his, warns him that if he doesn't move quickly, they would be after the fact. Considered in his contemplation of how, for some reason, she keeps forgetting that he rescued her. Life. Humans have no idea that assassins are assaulting her while Iyuki serves as her protector. Stepping into the lecture hall, he perpetually on high alert, never knowing when or where danger may strike could be. "Go smack him," Holik says. "He should look away from everyone." She did meets and greets fellow classmates with a smile as, "Why has she never been?" Ibuki asks herself. Terrifying man. In class, people talk trash about he is settling into his seat. No matter what, this way, based on appearances alone and rumors. His detractors say he poses a threat, explosive and easily provoked. He takes a seat and considers how he guarded her at all times. A week before that, Ibuki finished spring vacation on the last day observes a gang of suspicious individuals standing outside his residence. His father is not responsible for their cash. He sees his dad show up and embraces him. "Can you tell me what's going on, Ibuki?" While his dad comforts him by detailing that the guys know each other and that in the past he was involved with the Yakuza. Gang of Jingu? Out of shock, Ibuki snatches his, grabbing my dad by the collar and asking him why he is just now making this known. Inquiring about his son, his father asks his ranting is getting in the way. Intimidating. His dad said he had an invited guest, the Jingu gang boss, Nobumasa Jingu. Concerned about what he desires and remembers, whether the guy he recently, one of Jinga's goons, got pounded. When Ibuki is getting ready to fight, he gets hit by a to the point where his supervisor is astounded by him. He is advised not to be cautious by his supervisor. Divulging the fact that he came across Ibuki goes to the highly esteemed Suzuji High academic setting. By presenting an image, he determines to the girl as his daughter by a different mother. Astonished, our MC falls to his knees. According to the supervisor, the girl is aware having no knowledge about her background, given to a foster family when he was a baby, and is currently the legal advisor's daughter. The course of her risks being harmed as a result of a struggle for how one wears their hair. After finishing her he will step down as boss upon graduation, while her presence became known throughout conflict. Everyone in his gang thinks she is going to be called Hair, which will lead them to attempt to murder her. Perplexed, Ibuki pays attention when her supervisor gushes over her gentle personality and a decent spirit. He hopes she has the ordinary world, separate from the spirit realm, consuming food as a kind of defense or her death is imminent. The boss participates bowing low, imploring him to shield her from harm, for the simple reason that he has zero faith in any gang member to that assignment. Shocked, the men urge, reminding the employer not to submit to the thug. Unable to find the right words, Ibuki mutters that he is despised by Honiko. Still, he considers, regardless of how much I dislike her constant asserting her rightness, she consistently manages to just turn up. She brought up the fact that her defending himself became excessive, leading him opposing party. He then told her as he walked away, "Must abandon your pretense of practicing law." She did, sincerely stated her intention to become follows in the footsteps of her parents and establishes her own workspace. At one point, she went so far as to inquire as to whether he would potentially join. He politely rejected, stating that he was like to collaborate with her. Unfazed, she refused the spot that was offered to him. Once more, this time pledging to construct her workplace as she pursued a career in law.
Brings back the vow.
On the other hand, the boss is discouraged by the father's efforts, bringing up the fact that Ibuki is untrained, but the offer is accepted by him. While in class, Ibuki decides to keep Honiko safe in secret for unknowingly in the following year, making sure she is able to graduate without incident. Following that, Nai proposes that they take a stroll back to their house after school. On their own, but Honiko turns them down since she counsel responsibilities for students. Yuki remains inattentively observing her every move. "The message shows up! The mission to keep her safe is on him!" "Go back to your house." Clenching his phone, he says,
Sure, go for it.
Hono shows from out of nowhere inquiring about his previous comment. Shocked, he lets go of his phone.
She did once again wants to know if he's in trouble.
He orders her to stop bothering him, but she wonders whether he has a secret and goes for his phone with all his might, but misses down onto him. Following her apology, he remarks said while she is utterly absorbed in people, she fails to prioritize her own needs. She refutes the accusation, claiming instead that she feel the need to lash out at him. His message is reassure her that he is out of her hands. Questioning if she decides to pursue a career in law is capable of. She concurs and encourages them to do to the fullest. He departs Anoa, but spots the previous man, who was swiftly pursued subsequent to him. While sprinting outdoors, he manages to observing him. as he skulks from in the rear, raises a knife toward Ibuki, demand that he remain silent or perish. As the action moves on, we see Ibuki bound to an armchair that the man had previously panned of the Jingu gang, casting doubt on the sense of designating a minor as her personal protector. The man seemed to be the one assassin, but he blows the whistle on their expert group prepared to murder for financial gain. The question of who he occupies, the man claims ignorance, completely submissive to higher-up directives. He describes what happened after they killed Ibuki, confidently dispatch Hono, delivering showed his supervisor a photo of his body. He was hit, but Ibuki evades them, leading to be severed instead. Having previously declared it doesn't matter, Ibuki punches him in the face, asserting that he did not obtain anything further away from theirs.
He gives the other assassin the command to attack.
One by one, he vanquishes them. His strength astounds them, and he urges them to avoid him at all costs. The Ibuki, I will not let him break his pledge to protect her.
Could someone please wreck that?
A guy takes out a firearm, cautioning Ibuki against becoming arrogant. Just abruptly, his phone starts ringing. As an answer, he says they're so close, he gives his crew the go-ahead to eliminate Hono during her first appearance. He casually mentions that no one was sent to find her. He took Ibuki with him to divert his attention. While awaiting Honiko's school entrance, in order to prevent surroundings and make sure Ibuki couldn't get in the way, the guy makes fun of him by stating that a complete squad is needed to safeguard a single girl. Upon realizing the strategy, Ibuki bursts out laughing. Once the school gate opens, a number of additional security detail shows up. That man is pitied by them. Concerning the hiring decision made by the boss,
Who among what gives?
the man inquires. The Ibuki claims to be Honiko's students, my peers. This was before the boss were appreciative about Ibuki accepting the position. He gave him the news that he will be sent to the sophomore year, in the same course as Homio. But it wasn't just Ibuki who was given the task. An elite escort unit was part of their group, worked on since they were little for this specific situation. Everyone on the team had previously been enrolled in her course. Had Ibuki worried for his own necessity? In reply, his supervisor assigned him a role. His new objective is to collaborate with shielding Ono from harm. On the now, when Honiko drops out of high school, the Hippen enters the strike, but a different. He is taken down by his security. Spots on Honiko with her. Did you anticipate my arrival?
He is now shoulders back. It was just not my thing.
It's quite risky to return home without assistance. Another option would be assaulted by a person such as Ibuki.
I would never be injured, according to Honiko.
It's him friend from childhood. Keeping an eye out subsequent to him. As a corollary, the remaining assault squads repel criminals. The Ibuki thinks about Honiko should remain in the dark. Assassins are aiming their guns at her, or that comprises her whole class protection detail. They should each do their as ideal. He assures her that he will never allow herself to experience pass away.
He will forever defend her.
He was longtime companion Hono is the fathered by someone other than Masahit Jingu, the gang leader of the Jingu people.
She is still ignorant of the truth, and should never learn about it since Jimu wants Akaban to on a daily basis. But you know what? Being considered for a position as gang member, and is the object of a hitman's attention. Those of Ibuki, my job as her personal bodyguard is to keep her safe. 2 weeks have passed since he was employed. On behalf of the chief of the Jingu gang. He doesn't know concerns the location and timing of the hitman's go-on strike, and he has to attend to everyone approaches her with the promise of potential danger. After extinguishing his cigarette, a man and disposes of it. Anger overwhelms Ibuki. Approaches the man, demanding to know if he was intent on harming Honiko.
Her inquiries revolve around Ibuki on his behavior and gives him orders to put the man free. During class time, when Honiko is having lunch, she tells her allies that Ibuki is trying to conceal from them.
Upon their arrival at school, she observes that, from a distance, he shoots them an icy stare, appear as though he is monitoring her.
Nai remarks on how terrifying it is and proposes that he, possibly in the process of stalking someone. By chance, Iyuki hears what they are saying. Is inquiring about the identity of the caller.
A terrifying stalker. In his words, keep quiet when he's not around.
Honiko.
Warns him about being a threat to others, utterly perplexed. He insisted it couldn't be worse. Consent to their slander. The rest of their class see that they're bickering once more. While they were arguing, she unintentionally gets milk all over his face. Her explanation that he condemns because it was unintended with her. Apologizing, she says she simply wanted to understand him better. Feel uneasy, he adamantly denies concealing anything. She received it from. As an offer, she goes to departs from the hospital. The other bodyguards inquire about the person he was contacting. Fouls and wonder what he's up to, bringing up the fact that they were told to be undercover. The importance of significance of keeping Ono in the dark about being there.
He is aware that he was not the only employee entrusted by the boss ensuring the well-being of Akabanet and others is her personal bodyguard in this class. Every one of them seem carefree while conversing with members of the group regarding their experiences with murdered dude.
Ibuki is unprepared for it. No longer.
Furious, he demands to know why they are so carefree when Honiko's life was in danger without warning, and wonders if they deep want to shield her from harm. Hiroyuki Sumihiko asserts that the line belongs to them and shows their lack of trust in him, puzzling over the boss's decision to hire a layoff. They are specifically prepared to defend Honiko Akaban, and her colleagues aren't unseasoned though he may be. Ibuki, enraged, casts doubt on their assertion that he isn't safeguard her independently. Inquiring, Sumihiko anything he may inquire about, and the air gets thick with tension because expects a confrontation. According to Sumihiko, if Ibuki is dissatisfied, he will showcase the variation in their competencies and efficiency. Prior to when tensions rise, Honiko shows up and observes as Ibuki seizes Sumihiko by the headdress. She thinks she must be told what's happening on.
Tsunami makes it seem like she's the victim, as if Ibuki were going to strike him.
As Ibuki attempts to clarify, Homio, distressed, advises him to calm down.
While in third grade for the fourth year, the group has 22 members, other than Ibuki.
During their time spent living as regular pupils, they confront the imminent risk that confronts Honko on a daily basis. At the time, after finishing school, they embark on meeting after school.
Watching the group states that Honko was pursued by a vehicle earlier today and is currently parked in at the base of the structure,
claiming to have car identification numbers and window tint. Clear hints that they are interacting with assassins. When Ibuki sees the vehicle, Nate wonders if he didn't saw it before. Still another protector admits to hacking nearby, discovered the NB through surveillance camera's secret location. Astounded by how well they worked, Sumi tells Ibuki that to keep 100 steps away from Honiko, much ahead of the typical individual. Hiroyuki Sumihiko does its utmost to eliminate dangers prior to their attack. A few of cards are tossed by him. Gives orders to teammates and tells them to get out.
If he isn't planning to go with Sumihiko, however, responds by saying he'll remain in one place and watch.
Given that mission starts, Ibuki questions if it's sensible to put your trust in something of this potentially harmful to these people. The kidnappers, meantime, are seated in their automobiles talking about the 100,000 yen job. One recommends enjoying oneself with Homiko before to murdering her. However, boss turns it off, saying tomorrow I will murder her. His words are, everyone should go back to their hiding place. As they depart, they encounter a roadblock.
Construction.
They are instructed to change their course, but he goes unnoticed and quickly go by. A builder comes out of his mask.
It turns out he's a protection detail and notes that there are in the vehicle 3 females.
Observing from within the monitoring area, Ibuki is stunned. Sumi clarifies that the man is Senzaka, an expert in disguising himself.
Nevertheless, when he takes off his mask, he gets timid and wholly ineffective. While Ibuki mulls over the impending event, he is powerless to prevent while sympathizing with the assassin. Upon stepping into where they're parked, their tire has a flat, via a covert apparatus. As they exit the vehicles to examine them, uninformed that they are kept an eye on. Not far away, Toto ducks inside the gloom, griping about the must's aroma and the din. Frustrated, she suggests cursing Sumio in a low voice. While Ibuki stands by his side, Sumihiko explains her abilities.
Out of nowhere, Tojiya shows up.
Despite the Haibin's cursing, she merely instructs them to be jubilant while grinning. Following that, after all, they don't receive the possibility of being humiliated by a woman. A Haibin pulls out a blade and leaps at the woman. Angry, Ibuki takes a step back front of him, but Sumihiko gives him reassurance. He says that Tojiya is a kind of martial arts
master.
She has a perfect grasp on how to people. Loyal to his promise, she vanquishes the assailant with ease.
Even 100 men,
Sumihiko brags, was powerless to defeat her. Beneath her now dirty, smaller than Pujiya, bemoaning being required to make yet another journey to the clean clothes. The other 2 assassins, shaken to their core, bolt for the safety of the cab. Calmly, she gives Amanuki instructions.
getting ready.
Taking aim with his weapon, Amanuki observes the hitman's panic as he fumbles for his weapons. Worriedly, they ask whether she could perhaps act as a hitman. It is their decision to flee. Just afterwards, Amanuki unleashes his wrath. His projectile impales the door in the exact manner planned. A assassin take deep breaths as they embark on secret dwelling. Much to their dismay, too, we are expecting additional bodyguards. Just one is upset over the fact that unlocking flats are dull. These criminals thinking of venturing outdoors, but come to terms with this door is absolutely stuck. The first one gives the Yim and Mei to complete the task at hand, notwithstanding hesitation. She gets rid of her sword hippening. Another one creates a frantic dash towards the balcony. Hi, Kishen! Quietly observing him serves as a reminder, too. The 10th floor is where they are. Arriving at the stops, moving as she sees the edge at her hips. Then, these are the guardians of Honiko, hailing from academic institution. Simultaneously, Kuji comes out and sends him tumbling. Startled, he inquired about she arrived. According to her, I climb? Unfazed. Therefore, the objective is complete. Stands Ibuki, utterly bewildered, overtaken by the shocking events he had just experienced. He becomes Sumihiko's focus.
Well, are you comprehend?
He inquires. His reasoning is that, among them, every single one is an expert has exceptional talents comprised of a 22-card deck that has countless possible approaches that are based on the combination. He then turns the tables on Ibuki. Please take the 23rd card. At that very second, the truth hits Ibuki. They weren't even playing.
On the go.
They have self-assurance, competence, and unquestionably authentic. And at that very moment, the someone hacks Sumihiko's account and informs him due to an argument at the school's front entrance. Competition amongst clubs is fierce for the grounds. Sumihiko brushes it off and says all of them, including Ibuki, to return home. However, Ahuki has already departed. Everyone else belittle him for once again taking the initiative. At mayhem erupts at the entryway.
Honiko shows up, urges all individuals to halt.
She produces, it is evident that she is not opposed arguing, but maintains that they evaluate issue correctly. Learners feel apprehensive not to mention returning home due to the commotion. A baseball club's top executive degrades the athletic team, ending the conflict. Feeling threatened, the assailants hasten to the doorway, concerned that she may become entangled. The baseball captain takes a sharp turn and struck someone with the bat. Step by step, Honiko ahead, preparing for what's to come due to the hit. However, upon opening her gazes, she beholds Ibuki positioned before her about her. He gives the leader an icy stare. It is you. I've been bothered by you folks for a while now.
Right now? Get out of here.
The evil trolls run away in fear. Everyone else in the class is amazed. What gave him the idea of where? How about she? He is thanked by Honiko for safeguarding her. A furious Ibuki attempts for an explanation, but he stumbles over his words. At a later, Ibuki is furious and yells out at home. Why have all the security detail congregated at where he stands? They regret that the hurtful yet chastise him for leaving back to wandering alone. When someone wanted to know how Honeko's presence was anticipated, he reacts by saying, "She's simply your typical person."
The rest of them just don't get it.
As a result, they begin to make absurd, presumed knowledge. Ibuki makes an effort to clarify, but he goes unnoticed. At that very moment, A takes a few steps back to answer the call. Once more, as the security detail within the room evaluate Ibuki's suitability in this case, Tubi. It is determined that he is not get everything in order and question the bosses enlisted him. As they speak on the phone, the boss hellos to Ibuki, hoping all is good with him and inquiring about his classwork. He takes issue with the way everyone is treating his person. The boss only communicates contentment and finally, point. He wanted to know how Ibuki was doing, as well as the real cause behind his designated to serve as a personal bodyguard. That of Ibuki demeanor becomes grave. Could it be? One of Akaban's own betrayed him.
Hi, Honiko.
It is confirmed by the boss. He demonstrates that Honiko's existence was known only to third graders, and from that point on, information began to leak. A single bodyguard out of the 22 is a betrayer, somebody who provided information to the gang. It is now Ibuki's duty to discover its identity.
According to the boss, so far, Ibuki has failed in his duty to defend Hono.
Risky circumstance and despair problem emerges. All of a sudden, a guy walks up that the employer was covering up information regarding their child from a previous relationship. Someone in charge is amazed and begs the question, why is this individual returning to Japan? It is the man's stated goal to pay her a visit in her capacity as Jingu gang heir. The month of April is finally over, and what a month after Ibuki started protecting her. His experience has been growing as a result of endeavors and has established a foundation. Whatever he does from here on out, he is not going to give an inch. Petered along his duty as her guardian resumes. She accepts his greeting and informs him that he is arriving early. He succeeds. She feels ashamed and says that it began when they were in the first grade, ever since went out on dates. Concerned about should keep that in mind and think about why he's feeling anxious. Beyond that, he must maintain composure, as it is the responsibility of a personal protector. He remembers from the day before, in the middle of their battle drills. Hiroshi Aoki conveys his desire for Ibuki to go on a date to him. Sitting down with Honiko. Astonishment fills the air, but Sumihiko informs Honiko that she intends tomorrow I will be studying at the library, and many hippos are vying for her life. A distraction from Ibuki will ensure that she doesn't disrupt their workflow. As a result, take charge of the operation as he holds her full schedule. They could be disclosed if his person, The Advoki woman blames him for abandoning facing adversity, yet vows to protect herself in an unexpected situation. It was unexpected, therefore she is thrilled about it. To accompany her, and even Nai was of assistance decide what she will wear today. As she watches in search of an opinion on her attire, but all he could muster was Handles, the perplexed. "I don't mind them." She did nods and recommends they go to the time for learning. Breathing out, he examines on his own. It's not a date, it's just studying. She makes an announcement as they step into the library that she will peruse the case files, and her explanation leaves him bewildered. "You can think of them as transcripts of lawsuits." She has faith that he will examine the books pertaining to building. Individuals are shocked to spot a goob in the reference section. Comes back to the goal of becoming an attorney, who then instructs him to trail behind her as she escorts him throughout. "Whoa, what a ride!" Much of a gap between their last steps beside her side. Standing on a ladder, she decides to take out a few books and spots an article that he ought not to. In a flash, he spins around and feels ashamed of... Does he have the ability to deal with this and seek out other options? Notices his co-worker attending to an executioner using an earpiece. Sumihiko, you notifies Ibuki of their deployment. They're battling the assassin.
It is Ibuki's duty to accompany Honiko.
Hello, Honiko. Shifts to inquire about whether anything is wrong. Even though he was momentarily scared, he has her search for her belongings expedited. The task has started, and he is unable to be present at ease. On their journey together, they stop at anybody else because they are battling a hitman across the board. According to him, they are unable to rid yourself of them incognito.
More hassle than it's worth,
the quest thought about. A knife is blocked by Ibuki with a text as she fixes her gaze on him. He hurried, takes it out of view. Her inquiries concern the matter, and he assures her that it's ordinary, simply a book that piqued his interest. He presents it. It's a sexually explicit book for her incredulous. According to her, if he dislikes studying and plans not to do it either. And says he's acting strange. He states that there is a significant miscommunication and commands her to halt while trapping her against a fence. It dawns on him that he was wrong, while he ponders the cause of his flushed face. His next step is to advise her to shut her eyes, so that she flushes while he argues that at long last does. The security detail yanks the shooter out of here and vanish. Honiko restlessly scans the room, on Muki perched on the edge to conceal his feel ashamed of. He whispers a word or two concerning exhaustion. What was he? She inquired. Striving to accomplish, and in the event that he is depressed, wow, he really ought to have simply stated it. Tajia berats Suni for giving Ibuki responsibility for this position, and raises concerns about capability. Still, another bodyguard wanted to know if she musters up the intestinal fortitude to air her grievances, and then she can assist them. She insists that regardless of the number of hitmen, it's not an issue for them. In an instant, a hippin shows up, getting it now why he's stuck in limbo after employing everyone that hit squad. He compliments the security detail, nevertheless bemoans the fact that they just cannot. Thank you. He threatens to discipline them and gets out a radio and gives the Hibben a command to eliminate a populace, providing 10 million Japanese yen for each individual. So, what are they going to do? For the simple reason that Honiko will learn the truth, and they must remain vigilant. Claiming an emergency, she informs everyone and Ibuki has no idea what's happening. The Agai shows up, and Honiko is finally met. He declares his identity and the reason for his visit to greet and farewell. While Ibuki isn't unfamiliar with the man's appearance, but he fails to such a decent human being. His mind ponders on his completing. Who is this?
wonders Honiko. On, and the way he learned her name. A guy asserts his desire to behold her flawless countenance and now thinks it will bring greater joy to walk on. Ibuki wonders if he actually is a Onhippen, but observes that he appears distinct.
He swears he won't imitate her and takes action pursue the enemy, but is instead told to flee.
Depart while bringing Honiko along. A guy Masachika Jingu is the rightful offspring. Ahavan is the father of Masagita Jingo, sibling who is older.
He has the makings of a contender to serve as the gang's go-to guy, and who is responsible for the efforts to Akaben's existence. He determinedly pursues his Iti dawns on Ibuki and tiny sister that if he is the one responsible, followed by him and those that betray the class are linked.
Why can't they stop him if... Ibuki inquired.
They comprehend a great deal.
As she elucidates, if she will attend to his grievances at a later time.
Class 3 and 4 students, however, are the gang known as Jingu.
As for Hippen, they're dead.
Except while confronting gang members.
Feeling irritated, Ibuki inquired about Masachika's goals.
The plant Masachika out that his purpose in coming was to bid farewell to Hello There.
He offers Ibuki some sweets and asks its nature. It turns out he's the kind who conveying values. Upon its shattering, hidden therein is a toggle. Should he insist it, the library bomb he detonated will explode, causing everything to pieces. The Hibman as a whole served no purpose, hence he arrived to see things through on his own.
This is the last boss battle.
Ibuki is perplexed as to why involvement of the public by Masachika is limited to murder Honiko.
Everyone in the Bodyguard's team for him to flee.
His fighting skills are lacking, thank you.
He is at a loss for action.
Get out of here!
Hiko orders Ibuki.
According to her, if she subtly follows Masachika, he is completely innocent. It would be wise for Ibuki to seize that chance to contact law enforcement.
To Ibuki's surprise, she has no idea what's happening. She advises him to depart.
He is warned by Masachika not to play about with. If I make a move, he'll strike all of a sudden. You must instruct Masachika to relax and give it some thought.
Without direction, Ibuki is at a loss. No, he is unable to attack Masachika or flee. In his mind, an idea. Masachika finds it frustrating when Hino is conversing with him and informs her that must simply perish. Ibuki takes a step forward and halts his progress.
He confides in Masachika that Honiko is going to prove him wrong, start a legal career.
In the end, Ibuki knows he can't give her the impression that he is weak.
Nobody else can keep her safe.
Those around him attempt to dissuade him from every single thing. Masachika finds fault with Ibuki and inquires as to whether or not he is aware of his role. Everyone will die if he sets the bomb off pass away. He is told by Ibuki to be quiet and not so as not to devalue his resolve. After that, Ibuki leaves everyone in awe as he kisses him. Utterly perplexed, Ibuki steps back and states that although he was advised against take control of Masachika, nobody remarked whatever there is to silence. He obtained the doll. His ability to discern the visage of Masachika, who resides in a realm where his actions are boundless.
The Ibuki inquiries as to whether this is his initial visit taken by surprise.
Whenever Masachika believed his bravado would serve him well, he had already defeated. Her anger flares up, and the uproar becomes apparent to onlookers. A call is made to the authorities.
Upon snatching people and they flee. The security detail swears, my dear.
Masachika is sure to be lethal. His person. Outside, Honiko now inquires as to why dashed, but where was the bomb? Dear Ibuki reveals that the statement was false. Their position was only intending to frighten her. She inquired regarding the individual, who claims it was a serial killer.
She seems to really think it.
She did fumes since, according to him, there was an ideal evening out.
Ibuki doesn't understand.
He was believed it to be a time for studying.
She did turns red and abruptly shifts the focus, and feels guilty about how dull he was.
She did proposes conducting a different study session before departing.
Protectors inform they will take Ibuki's performance seriously, taking it from here and telling him he shouldn't with her.
Inside the vehicle, Masachika is enraged.
He was defeated by a child.
He says it's not possible. His authority is absolute. Had never felt shame like this before.
He desires to harm Ibuki while fuming destroys his garment.
She is actually a feminine figure.
She swears at Ibuki and promises he should own up to it. When it comes to the guards at Jingu's headquarters, pull their weapons in reaction to the cries, worrying that it could be an enemy strike.
Assuring them, another guard says, she is just going through a duration and has maintained this state ever since she came back, bringing up a point regarding subjected to the playful touch of a teenage male.
Feeling completely confused by her personal feelings.
She had no luck rescuing him from following the event at the library.
A persistent pain in her chest.
I can hardly catch my breath. However, surprisingly, she finds solace in this.
She denies its validity, claiming instead that she serves as the Jingu gang's hair. Ibuki isn't important.
What she has accomplished, he promises to do extensive investigation and own up to his actions.
In the classroom, Ibuki keeps an eye on the main door, having in mind that there are no adversaries in sight. Some time has passed since his confrontation with Masachika Jingu, with whom he's seen as a manipulator with no compassion. He can't decide what to do next, nonetheless, thinks that being ready will stop him from bombing.
Afraid it might be Toya, smacks him while she is in disagreement. Upon inquiring about it, she then invites him to come along.
She declares that ever since coming across his intensity is excessive, Masachika. Along with that, shows that the earbuds shouldn't be when not in use at school, such as during worries about his reaction if Honiko discovered his person.
They can never, according to Ibuki.
Guess when Masache will launch his next attack. His worry is understood by Tsukeviko, although expresses concern that being overly prepared might anxiety, as if it were equivalent to leading the horse in the cart. This, heightened on campus, where students in the 4th grade reside, has an array of cameras that stay alert at all times, vicious traps to avoid outsiders, and 22 exceptional pupils. For high school is a safe haven, Honiko. The reference to 22 baffles Ibuki. Pupils and postulates that they aren't not forget about him.
I don't want to,
he says. Infuriated after losing to Masachika the concept of a sibling murdering his female relative. Sumiko and Tajia both put it plainly she identifies as a female. Startled, he takes a leap of faith after realizing his error.
Subimumo goes on record as saying he has no faith in Ibuki is currently available to accompany anyone and to give him time to relax.
Ibuki loses his temper, believing it's insane to leave him out at such a pivotal moment. Because this is a no one can battle over Jimu gang property. Hello there. As a result, he as anyone could possibly stand in their way. Someone interrupts his train of thought.
Summons the president of the island.
When he looks across at her, sprinting in his direction, escaping from other people. Taking cover behind him, she snatches him to create. She seems to be holding him back. And orders everyone else to flee. They duck and cover. He has her gratitude for his assistance, and he inquires as to the nature of the problem. She underlines the fact that ever since their return starting with Golden Week, they were continual need for her counsel. At first small enough to be overseen, skyrocketed in size. He makes a statement that the situation likely felt insurmountable if I even had the student council president as a candidate. Not at all. She concurs and describes the types regarding the inquiries made to her. His comments that their dependence on her demonstrates their welcome her, in sharp contrast to his personal encounters with rejection. She recognizes this and asserts his status as that she feels comfortable confiding in this way. When he realizes that his really being acknowledged is not what drives motivation. By the 3rd to 4th grade, or by beating the Masachika people. Truly, as Sumihiko mentioned, his becoming a bodyguard is becoming more complicated. His acceptance by Honiko is the reason he puts his life on the line for her. The instructors locate them and tell Ibuki to abandon her. To which he replies, she is accountable for what happened, and she promises to take care of it, and urges he should flee. He tries to escape but fails to overcome the challenge without triggering trouble. As he notices, he steps on something. This lens has numerous in many locations. Coming to terms with monitoring systems have been rendered inoperable. He endeavors to notify the group, but his phone is struck by an object. Startled, he witnesses Masachika's shooting. She explains his private details. Being a 3rd-year student, 4th grade born on August 10th, weak on August 12th, with blood type A mathematics, physics, and infatuated with Honiko. He finds it puzzling how they deactivated every trap by hacking into them and cameras, worried about a betrayal. He says, assuming the sanctuary is really a facade. When Ibuki thinks of Masachika, assertion that he has feelings for Honiko and inquiries with her. No amount of deceit, she says, enrolling a reliable source who acknowledges that he admires Homio but wonders why she uttered those words. He vehemently rejects a soft spot for Honeko.
She acknowledges hurts her sentiments and makes the decision to murder. Our name is Honiko Akaban.
Ibuki seizes a fireplace, adamantly stating that he will not permit of it.
Then he gets away by spraying them.
Updating the group on the situation that Masachika and her group has managed to get into the 1st floor facility for training. They are unstoppable. By themselves, he cautions that imminent get to the classroom wing. His plea is to the A group to look out for her and promise not to. Pardon them if they fall short. Everyone on the squad is startled, and Sumihiko insisted they are unable to help him out.
As soon as he requests some clarification, Sumihiko clarifies that any unethical actions would reveal them due to the fact that the class has got going. His word is that they will show up and help him when the next bell goes off in class, requesting that Ibuki wait for half an hour.
According to Sumihiko, he is their sole hope. In Masachika's words, don't run, detached, serving as a gentle reminder that he was the one who started her difference of opinion.
Face it, he must!
Task on my own. She makes her intentions clear, order Ibuki to murder Homio Akaban, my spouse. The extent to which her subjective experiences, a notion makes Harlid scream, of sitting through 50 minutes, now encased in a conflicting romantic relationships.
Given that I am the instructor review material for the exam, Homiko questions Ibuki's distance covered. At the same time, keeping an eye on everything, Kavaro uses those pesky cameras. Concerned about his potential certain on this front, as there is no way Ayuki can deal with that posse of assassins. He implies that regardless of whether Honiko becomes aware of it vaguely unsettling, it ought to do something.
Quiet down,
Sumihiko orders. Refusing, adamant that not a single one of them must onward motion, as Ibuki will do very fine on his personal funds.
According to Masachika, her Haiban must knock Ibuki out quickly, stressing it is Hono who they intend to harm and telling them to burn olive using cameras to stay out of her way. Father.
As Sumihiko notes, the burglars have discovered the networks of cameras and snares entirely, implying a strategic invasion aimed at creating a disturbance. As he explains to Ibuki, fortunately, there are no first-floor classrooms on educational facility, bestowing upon him clearance to act irrationally if he so desires. Ibuki quickly counters by saying it's bad news as there will be another chime in half an hour, and must continue to obstruct the attackers. Sugimiko, please be quiet, he orders.
And allow him to focus.
Sugimiko tells him to remain composed and reassures him his well-being and his role as the leading him to triumph commander. A hitman remarks that as Ibuki flees, he has a history of being an obstinate brat.
Now, but he'll eventually hit his limitations. At the same time, they launch an assault on him and kick the door 8 times, Sumihiko tells him. When ahead, Ibuki releases it with a kick. Furnishings that encompass the hitman.
There exist, as Sumihiko discloses, quite a few training classes without student structure outfitted with obstacles that engage using specialized tools.
Given that adversary won't trigger them, Ibuki will have to take care of it directly. A few traps are set off by him, while evading capture by the assassin. His antics annoy Masachika, and the art of stalling, Kagura assures Sumihiko, will not assist him.
While Sugimiko concurs, she elaborates that their time spent purchasing bridge the gap and make use of the obstacles, Hibin is unable to keep his formation. Consequently, a string of one-on-one conflicts, to which Ibuki's subject area.
A Hibin takes a punch from Ibuki,
confronts him, and is astounded by Suninko's directions that have changed the tide of the conflict on his behalf.
Masachika is irritated.
Cannot fathom the idea that Ibuki, a simple you little reek, is making a big mess.
The assassins are confused by his transformation.
To Ibuki's delight, feeling confident in his ability to handle the 50 moments, but he relaxes his defenses and receives reinforcements and is attacked. We can all see him on camera, observing that he has 40 minutes remaining as things go from bad to worse. Incapable of musters the courage to announce his departure, but according to what Sumihiko teaches him, having faith in not believing is the same as Arakuni.
Who makes the call?
The Kakagaro requests proof to persuade him that no problem for Yuki.
Assumes Tsukumikovo the responsibility of this assignment to Ibuki is adequate proof. Honiko wants to know if a problem exists, and Sumihiko gives reassurances as insignificant to her. Continuing to observe the conflict, Ibuki overpowered is certain he will come up short. All of a sudden, surprises everyone by beginning to resist. He then invites the Hibin to join him, coexisting apathetically toward the result. Although they are aware he will be defeated, addicted to viewing.
In this lesson, discovers that every single student in the class is on the go and question whether he learned anything from his class honestly isn't that dull.
After Ibuki gets to the end of the structure, understanding that if upon reaching this point, the assassins will walk to the classroom building,
he is determined to permitting them to come into contact with Akabanet, regardless of the murder's him.
At Masachika's command, the Haven is to pull back.
Feeling irritated from all the work she feels compelled to act and wonders why involves an outsider, such as Aduki, and what makes Akaban unique. Alluding to pointed the weapon at him, urging him to pick her and disregard Akaban, providing him with on his final opportunity to wed her. She strongly urges that he wouldn't make her feel bad about it, but rather unique chance. Imuki claims that the number of Akaban is 10 million. He turns down her offer because she's more his type, swearing at her. She puts her weapon down and charges the hitman with his murder, and then tosses. Into the water he went, with no intention of seeing yet another time. The height of the hill is timely assistance reaches him. Kavara is in Ibuki's endurance for half an hour, astounds by itself. His actions are commended by Sugimiko, for I understand. They make a dash for safety, but they become aware that they are encircled. Everyone on the team is relieved, although not forget that if you don't follow Subiko's lead, he would have perished immediately. The Ibuki threatens them, advising them to grasp the magnitude of his sacrifice on their behalf.
Their word is that they will immediately reveal, teach him the ropes, and refer to Ibuki as informing the 23rd member to keep an eye on him. According to Sumihiko, nobody has to is aware of the battle going on, and that they must tidy up and go back to class.
Before the end of the break, they are in possession of 10 brief period of time.
The squad rushes the assassin!
Efficiently attends to them.
Sumihiko was plays dumb since it required little effort from them. Hold on for a second. It blows Ibuki away that they abilities and learns that he is too busy to. He hurriedly attempts to depart, so you can sit back.
When Sumihiko inquires about his destination, he shares the news that he has decided to Masachika-related matters.
His boredom with is slipping, and promises she will never allow her gain access to Honiko. He plays at intent in capturing her. They all reprimand, advising him against providing them with information added difficulty, serving as a constant reminder that the result of his actions was, he set her off.
They inquire about his plans in the event that he apprehends her.
Calm down, Sumihiko urges everyone, and shows that they have Ibuki's approval.
Regardless, he is venturing out on his own, and Ayuki will undoubtedly move into domains that are off limits to them.
He deftly presenting Ibuki with a card, Kagara informs him that they now count him among them. By doing so, he'll do anything that brings disgrace onto them, show him the ropes.
As a result, Masachika, why on earth she was unable to pull that set it off?
Up until this point, she had have pity on those who wrong her.
Nevertheless, it is of no consequence because I would not have been able to survive if faced with enough assassins. Farewell is said by her to love was her first.
From nowhere, Ibuki emerges a dead end and warns her against being too carefree.
She is taken aback, questioning whether it is his specter.
In it, he admits that he informs her that she is still alive and on his way there.
She gets it. He escorts her to the executive.
Her dad informed her that he had learned from Ibuki that assailing Honiko. To her knowledge, she has never denied asserting her innocence, and asserting that the school cameras can be accessed by him.
No one will ever find her. He inquired about her, was aware of the cameras.
Anxious, he claims to have informed the gang that he isn't planned to add hairstyles to Honiko's, advising all individuals to avoid her, but he has lost all credibility. The boss is informed by Ibuki that he is present to carry out the actions they had planned before, and would like Masachika banished from the group.
To what extent does he wish to pass away?
Ibuki maintains her position by stating that if she is right to inherit the gang's demise, she has no justification to pursue. This is Honiko. She can skip hiring any.
It would be safe for Ano and the hitman to graduate. While his pursuers attempt to remove him from the building, he fights back.
Masachika informs her dad not to attentively hear Ibuki out, as he stresses that the group relies on her, and she's the soul who might potentially lead the Jingu gang to victory.
Suddenly, Ibuki escapes and says that he doesn't mind if the group goes missing.
He will destroy it if necessary to ensure that she can be happy and cheerful.
The supervisor praises bravery of Ibuki, who pointed out that few be so courageous.
He removes his firearm, acknowledging with Ibuki the necessity to detach himself from his parents' love. When Ibuki requests the boss to stop, he ignores him.
Fires its weapon!
Who destroys their own family? Ibuki wonders.
Son, but the employer admits to shooting. That represents the gang. His words to her are that she never has to show her face again as she is banished.
Yet again.
She shivers and begs, but he announces his lack of daughters and departs. Masachika quakes with fear and yells out that it's not possible.
She comes from a family of intending to seize control of the gang.
Let me tell you about this. She met her demise.
Accusations will be leveled at Ibuki by her Nanakaban.
There it is.
He is cursed by her.
Lamenting with the knowledge that she now my dad is without a home and no work, and we will cancel her credit card. She did squarely on his shoulders. As I watched her sob, he encourages her to remain resilient because exile is merely a word. In any case, from afar, family stays family. Tears stream down her face as she orders him to quiet down, admit her love, and offering to marry. The fact that she is feeling down and unprepared for what was to come to this. Doubtful about what comes after this transition, he assures her that he comprehends and asks her to spend the night at his house.
The Shi visits Ibuki's house the following day and welcomes his dad, who he addresses as to my father-in-law, and even offered him a castella is where it is. His perplexed dad is inquiries Ibuki about the situation. Ibuki gives the reason that it's used for monitoring as a means to maintain her presence there, fails to plan anything pertaining to Akava. He further states that she possesses a number of crucial background data. Masachika was in her room, is uncertain about the suitability of her welcome, as well as if Ibuki views her with contempt feminine figure. She is determined to act appropriately, feeling red at the mere idea of all at once. Instead of using her maiden name, Ibuki uses her first recognizing her, assuring her that she is exempt from focus on the life of Akabanet and requests that she expose one of the class's betrayers. She gets ready to inform him. The group's members class is surprised to hear that exiled is Masachika Jingua. The Ibuki informs individuals that Akaban will not become untargetable by the hitman. Regardless of, they seem to be quite unhappy about this, which his confusion leads him to inquire about how they felt. Their dissatisfaction as a result of him stealing the spotlight from theirs, which he believed they possessed, agreed upon. In the end, they're all disappointed. There was no longer any covert danger, and he is required to apprehend the betrayer when left a cabinet betrayed. Masachika had already presents him with the messages sent by the betrayer, divulging the fact that she got this message. I first learned about it 3 months ago. Existed in Honiko. Never in their lives acknowledged her texts. Nonetheless, following at the sight of this communication, she was persuaded, recognizing the gravity of the situation. He is taken aback by she provides him with the name and the messages of betrayal. Now, in the here and now, a suggestion from Ibuki to Sumiko is that they should collaborate with her today. He is in agreement. Under Tsukimiko's leadership, level 3 through level 4. Ibuki may yet be inexperienced, but he persists in advocating crucial tasks to him. Because if this were to have an impact on the hitman who murders Hiko, then he will hold a grudge toward him. Akaban really means monitored around the clock on Route 2 in her neighborhood, near her home, and at her places to visit. Plus, this won't transformed until the day she takes her diploma. As of today, Route is the way she returns home. If she takes absolutely no issue at all and won't require much time, she offers assistance to numerous passing individuals, which he finds frustrating. From every angle, the coast appears clear, and since the hitman has departed, the region appears absolutely risk-free. To find out if Ibuki could seeking to converse with him, he has kept that expression the entire time. Has he known the guys? Ibuki wanted to know. All the way to 4th grade. Sumiro verifies. We've been dating after a decade. He is taken aback. Tsunami was further evidence suggests that they resemble long-lost pals, feel more like family. He feels a little embarrassed about it. Thus, Iki should keep quiet. Seizing him, Ibuki, and demands to know why he has abandoned the group. Astonished, Sumihiko smiles and confesses his whereabouts have already been discovered.
That he actually acknowledged it enrages Ibuki.
Nothing, and that his entire speech was a lie. What does Henko mean to you?
Yuki inquires. After adjusting herself, Sumi responds. Even if an assailant attempted to menace her, he was unconcerned. The question of whether Ibuki schemes to bring him to justice in front of all individuals. In response, Ibuki says he'll take dissent before bringing him before senior executive. With a laugh, Suiko claims he's also delicate,
then unleashes a swift blow and is sorry.
Let's not waste any more time. Is Rai's arrival?
There is a structure. While another man asks, Ibuki is bound and gagged. Something is wrong with him, Sumihiko. Tsukimiko discloses that he merely roughed him up in a small amount. He claims this signifies he having his spying activities exposed. Kimiko Suku admits he won't assist in their removal without compensating him for it. The Ibuki awakens with the memory that just a few moments before, he was conversing with Sumihiko. Tsukimiko warmly meets him and says hello to him at, "He's joking, though." What concerns Ibuki is the possibility that their lair is this place. Questions are posed by the boss where Sumihiko is and where Akaban is at the moment, asserts that she headed to spend time with my friends. He makes a funny face and claims that she is completely unconcerned about discern the imminent threat to her life. Concerning their backers, Tsukimo inquires. According to the man, they are in the military. He's collected from all across within the nation, a select few guys. He says that Masachika merely distributed funds, hence she was unsuccessful. Furthermore, in cases when Hippen prioritizes quality above quantity, right away, Sumihiko sees that the climate is distinct from the ranking the ones he has viewed. His anger is palpable, due to Masachika's lack of competence. So, his goal is to persuade another individual to aim for Akabanet. Instead of asking his bro, if Sumiko turns out to be the informant, he recruited to sabotage the college. The leader expresses his disapproval, detailing the true source is currently present on campus. Sumihiko sarcastically mentions that in reality, the informant is 50 years old. He poses the question, are they bringing up this man? It was his turn to hear that a substitute educator had been recruited until recently, so he opted to greet her.
After hearing from his instructor that he was to travel, we'll meet up.
Tsukimiko is aware of their gang members from the Ogami side. Their weapons are drawn by each of them. Out of nowhere, Ibuki escapes and kicks striking one of their faces. What makes them shocked that he freed himself from the restraints would be of assistance. Tsukimiko was anticipating it, and reasoned that he needed to start doing something. It has shocked the man that they are, the men who protect Honiko. Confused, Ibuki before inquiring as to whether or not they are not named Parker. Sumihiko strongly refutes the allegation. The Ibuki querying whether he is the betrayer who disclosed details regarding Akaban in order to incite hello there. Per Suibiko, it's breaking news to his command, but he does concede that does not think it is worth the danger to... It's worth it to defend Akaban. No one, everybody is pulling their weight, but him. This is the same as treachery. Shocked that what he said was twisted. Mayawaki grabs something Sumiko ought to have avoided. Sugimiko contends from the outset that he was... At the time, it is Ibuki who recalls the email that was. Suiko admits to Masachika that he was betrayed by a person posing as them. He afterwards sends Ibuki tumbling for cover and becomes a member of their boss's gang. So, Ibuki wanted to know if Sumiko was on his side. He verifies.
Please, Ibuki, finish,
he says. Swiftly eliminate their adversaries in order to utter nothing. Yukimiko concurs. During the past 2 years, 2 criminals cornered a child, forcefully claiming his money and inciting physical aggression toward him. I am an attendee of Susoji University. He need to be maintaining a substantial amount of spending money. Good day, Sumio. Sense that he is in a precarious position, reminds him that he needs drawing in unwelcome gazes, which probably won't help matters. At that same moment, Ibuki suddenly appears with an angry look, slamming the putting their gangster hats on and to their knees with incredible force. Coming up to Sumio, he introduces while also enrolled in the same calendar year.
Keeping in mind that Sumihiko remains in problems at the beginning of the academic year, to lend a hand, Ibuki extends his hand.
Okay, Suhiko, distraught and in tears, withdraws that he is strapped for cash.
Those of Ibuki, I am quite frustrated.
He says, jokingly scolding Sununio for his fragile personality that pulls those criminals who cause trouble.
He must stand up, Ibuki says. To himself while keeping his chin up.
2. Assisting him, Ibuki inserts a pair of placing Suetiko's earrings in her hands, asserting that he will appear more reasonable and prevented more difficulties.
Skeptical Suhiko is concerned that the adding earrings to his look would surely turn heads.
Extra, but she reluctantly agrees to take them.
With these, Ibuki tells him, earring, he will no longer be singled out.
Suddenly, Akaben sprints over as well as chastising Ibuki for becoming involved in another altercation.
In spite of his assurance once the start of high school drew near, this guarantee was not made by Ibuki, he says. That he stated that while dreaming is what Akaban claims. When I was a first grader. Those who were injured and irritated, Ibuki inquired as to her retain such precise information from quite a while ago, considerable time ago. Evidently uninterested in circumstance, the focus then moves to the location Ibuki is now involved in, an intense conflict with a gang of disguised people. He uses all this power, but looks up at them till he or she collapses. Sense of the omnipotence you possess. Among a group of men in masks sneer and say that Ibuki a plenty of sass, which explains why they was inclined to put him to the test. Nevertheless, he's merely a child who lacks experience.
Ibuki, fuming with rage, insists on having expertise in the field.
Just one of the guys proposes that they ought to dispose of him immediately, but another raises an eyebrow as they observe their boss seated.
That's right.
The fact that Sumihiko has positioned himself carefully to become a divert his attention, yet he is still perplexed by incidents where Akavan's life has been threatened.
Hey, Sumihiko, you must not speak to this gangster!
He set his brother free while interrogating if he is aware of the repercussions.
In a composed manner, Sumihiko states that he'll end up as the Jingu gang's property.
Got rid of. However, Ibuki is only an unfamiliar face. Nobody can stop him from hurting them. Exact your vengeance in the 3rd year.
Level 4 to the point when their purpose to attack Akavan, resulting in a war proclamation. The criminal becomes furious and accuses Sumio of purposefully starting this whole thing up, accusing him of betrayer and suspecting that he may be attempting to turn the gang against him.
Sumio smugly declares that he's got his beloved family, a group of 21 members. The family is now in danger because for the benefit of only one girl. Without him, would rather put their well-being first and implies that in the event that they are to discontinue their forces by this point, maybe everyone might have on a more favorable occasion.
He merely desires to safeguard from 3rd to 4th grade as they've matured, we intend to complete our degrees side by side.
Thus, he takes full responsibility. Responsibilities. It is the gangster's order someone else to inform those in charge, wondering how he ought to address their matter. As for Ibuki, he is still battling the cloaked individuals, battling while they overcome his person. With each beak beat, they make fun of his in an attempt to reach Sumui, who informs Ibuki to slumber, for it is his duty to shield him, in addition. Wryly observing the earring he to Tsunumigo. To clarify, he says that Ibuki is too important to risk losing to protect Akabanet from harm. If so, he's the bodyguard of 3rd year class 4. The Ibuki notices him, and is taken aback by the idea that this is acting on his own convictions to move ahead while ensuring safety. That hence he is similar to me? It dawns on him. It proves that Sumui is innocent. As a group, they sprint towards the criminals, pounding their special techniques to defeat them. The Ibuki thinks, "What's wrong?" in shock. What gives him the authority to lead? Draws the conclusion that Sumui is the powerful. As they step inside a hallway, Ibuki is furious and demands to know his boss's decision to give him such a key position. With a grin on his face, Sumio evades the issue. While Ibuki maintains that this is serious, Sumihiko smashes the fact that he had anything in his wrist. He's not furious at all. He just smirks and asks, to Ibuki, asking whether he can help with the hunt condemn the betrayers, claiming that has greater dependability than using him as a friend. He reaches out to Ibuki, who is overjoyed.
In pursuit of the betrayer who betrayed Akavan, discovers he has been led astray into has 21 individuals under suspicion.
Continued on his clandestine mission, he is now features top-tier 3rd to 4th grade work on his. He reaches out and grasps Suiko's hand, assuring him leaving nothing to chance as Ibuki walks out the door observing the lunar surface. He muses that for just a second, he triumphed. If he keeps up his current pace, he's assured that he can protect Akaban until their graduation. All of a sudden, Akaban shows up.
And he goes ballistic, demanding to know why she says she arrived at that place to challenge Nai to a game, but asks him to explain his perspective. After that, she scolds him, bringing up the company impacting laws, regulations, and public morals, while also claiming he was involved with a hostess club through the use of a false persona, referring to him a transvestite. He endeavors to clarify that contrary to her belief, Ab is pursuing. He chuckles as Sumihiko begs him to defeat him. Period. When Sumihiko travels the Jingu clan, his elder inquired as to he is present and describes his time at high school departs. Sumi presents him with an image, declaring that every time he spots this individual, there's always something exciting happening.
Takes a glance at the photo and wonders who it is. According to Suio, it's a person who is able to seriously shield Akavan from harm.
He declares that when the moment arrives for them to take action, he is interested in having Arakuni join their team.
While referring to the man as a bodyguard, after that, Sumiro hums a draft and bows low. Requests that he fulfill this favor for him. During the in the room, Sumihiko chuckles as Ibuki silently begs, damning him within in search of assistance.
Well, look who turned up. Me. I've been during the time when I denied my feelings for you.
Standing here, I am aware that I departed. I would uncover the identity I would assume.